Hey YouTube, this is the Purple One and welcome to Boots on the Ground. Let me get right into it. We have so much to cover. This person said our pressure canner gasket went bad, so I went to hardware, where I always do, but they were not in stock, and actually they have 2 on back order. Well, needless to say, the hunt was on after no luck locally or online. In the last month, I've ordered 3 different canners, and as of today, all 3 have canceled my order. One was damaged in the warehouse, and that was the last one they had. 2 were lost in transit with the United States Postal Service. So hopefully they can find what they need. So if you need something, get on it right away. This is a news article someone sent me. Just last week, the Biden administration announced $1 billion in federal grants for manufacturing clean energy, farming, biotech, and more. The money will be doled out to 21 regional partnerships throughout the nation. According to the AP, the money came from Biden's $1.9 trillion Corona relief package, dubbed the American Rescue Plan, passed March of 2021. The U.S. government showered more than $7 trillion in stimulus money on the U.S. economy during the pandemic, most of it created out of thin air. Now, more than a year later, stimulus money is still dripping into the broader economy, even as the American labor is under the weight of inflation, and there is more money in the pipeline. For instance, only 12% of the $122 billion American Rescue Plan money earmarked for education has been spent. States and school districts have until the end of 2024 to spend the money, and according to the Treasury Department figures, state and local government has only spent about $70 billion of the $350 billion allocated to them in the plan. Meanwhile, the Biden administration is pushing for more COVID cash. Just last week, the White House released a supplementary emergency spending request totaling $47.1 billion. The proposal includes more aid for Ukraine and $22.4 billion to cover ongoing needs associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. In other words, even the Federal Reserve is raising interest rates to fight inflation. COVID-era inflation is still dripping into the economy, and the Biden administration is pushing for more. Bottom line is we're spending money, we're printing money we don't have, and it's going to cause all of us to feel more inflation. They're not solving the problem. They're creating more inflation, which is stealing people's wealth. Elderly people that put money in the bank, your money's becoming a lot worth less. I went to LabCorp in Atlanta suburbs last week for routine blood work. I casually asked the lady drawing my blood if they were having trouble getting supplies. She said yes for needles and tubes. She's having to throw the needles in a regular biohazard waste trash can. The usual protocol is to have the receptacles replaced each day, but they're not being able to replace them due to shortages. The grocery store I use are pretty well stocked with food and other items, but there are no canned tomatoes at Costco, no tomato paste, only cans of tomato sauce. This person ran into our local Walmart today, and the cashier was asking the manager for quarters. The manager replied, "We're out. No quarters at all." They said, "Is digital currency on its way?" Just had something happen that I think people need to be aware of. I use a lot of food grade buckets with screw-on gamma lids to store my bulk dry goods. I love gamma lids. They are the greatest. I like rice, wheat, sugar, flour, and noodles. A couple weeks ago, I ordered 24 gamma lids and I got them in yesterday. I've always bought them from the same seller on eBay and never had a problem. But this time, all but 3 didn't fit my bucket. They were either a little too big, a little too small. I think they're rushing to meet demand and skipping on quality, not having proper quality checks. I contacted the seller and they said there was a lot of defective ones, but they would be able to get. They won't be able to get any more until at least April. That's crazy. So if you need gamma lids, Amazon has them, or locally. This is from Disco Daddy. That's what he wanted to be called. So Disco Daddy, here's a shout out to you. Thank you for your report. He has some information pertaining to Kroger in Duluth, Georgia, just northeast of Atlanta. I've been watching your channel for a couple of months and I appreciate the information you put out for everyone to see. And this has made me aware of a lot of things. I've been slowly seeing changes in the Kroger that I shop. And one of the changes that he's seen has gone from satisfactory for what's happening to unsatisfactory, and prices are going higher, greatly increasing. His words: a 12-pack of Coca-Cola went from $5 a week ago to $8 this week, with a deal of $7 each if you buy 3 or more. Potato chips, I usually buy Lay's or Doritos. They're up $5. They're up to $5 or more per bag. And basically, potato chips are really nothing, a few ounces, and they charge you a lot. But they are good. Seems like the inventory in the store is down to about half to 3/4 of what they usually have on the shelves. All products have been rearranged to appear like they have more products and produce than they actually have. Having to bag my own groceries, I do buy a lot more lately, and I'm noticeable a little physically impaired. But no one was available to help me pack them up for the 3rd week in a row. A lot of young people that go to my son's high school was working here at this Kroger, but have not seen a single one of these young people in 3 weeks. Only a couple of new workers seem to be sharing the checkout lines when I go shopping now. So, are they cutting back? Kroger's cutting back on people, maybe to save on the bottom line? I don't know. But he has seen a noticeable difference in his Kroger to the negative side. Also says eggs are from $3.75 for a dozen carton up to well over $5 for better quality eggs. Kroger butter is $7 for 2 4-bar cartons. He's saying the produce is old, it needs to be eaten immediately or it will go bad in a day or two. This is from someone that sent it from a Walmart in Illinois. It's a Chicago suburbs. It has been a little over a month since I've been there. However, I noticed they took out a majority of the cashier's lines and put in self-checkout lines. So in a month time, he's seen this, or they have seen it. There are a total of 31 checkout lines. 7 actually have cashiers, and 24 are self-checkout lines. We stopped there on Sunday at about 11 a.m. Out of the 7 cashiers lines, only 2 were open. The rest of the self-checkouts were open, 24 in total. So yes, that's definitely a cut. They only have 2 people to serve you, but they did have 24 lines that you could serve yourself. In addition, I noticed Aldi's did the same thing. Although not as big as Walmart, Aldi's had a total of 6 checkout lines, 2 being cashier lines, and 4 being self-checkout lines. It is my opinion that soon all of Illinois will be following Chicago's minimum wage. Chicago's minimum wage is now $15.40 per hour per employee, with 21 workers or more, and $14.50 per hour for employers that have only 4 to 20 workers. I think these companies are trying to go automated as much as they can, and are trying to cut costs. And he sent a bunch of pictures to verify all this. This person went to our local food line in Virginia. It blew my mind. It was like a pre-2020 experience. All shelves seemed stocked to the hilt. Everything. Even my Asian food, canned goods, baking goods, snacks and chips, everything. Even potatoes. They didn't look at the meat section because they weren't buying any. But they said kind of weird, like it went back in time. So that's the positive news. That store, that food line is fully stocked. I live in metropolitan Detroit area. It's actually 30 miles from Detroit. First, I would like to say that I love your videos. And it's just helping, they're getting warned by you guys providing this information, so thank you. They said that their natural gas bill, they received their August bill a few weeks ago, and their bill has doubled in price. They're actually in a payment plan, and it used to be $55 and it jumped to $79, and now the August bill was over $150. They called and talked to the customer representative. They answered the phone, and the gentleman told them that they're probably going to have an additional increase in January. So there's nothing other than just to watch how much you heat your house, but also energy efficiency. Look at ways to make your house more energy efficient. I went to pick up my prescription for a chronic condition with my immune system, and it has cost me $30 a month for the last 4 years. But today my pharmacist said it will be $375 per month. I couldn't believe it. And she said they're having to pay more for it, so they have to pass it on to the customer. She also said they were unable to get some medications. If anyone can afford to get a 3-month supply of their meds, do it now before the prices go up or you can't get it. This is getting scary. I live in Washington State. This is East Tennessee. At the hotel where I work, we have constantly been shorted on the delivery of food and liquor for their hotel. Today, the food delivery truck broke down on us, so they attempted to send another truck, which also broke down. Tomorrow, they will make a third attempt at sending us the food delivery truck. Fingers crossed. My brother-in-law drives school buses. I was talking with him this weekend. He said in a fleet of about 30 buses, currently 4 of them are operating with the DEF system disabled. That's for the diesel fuel additive. I asked how this could be, and apparently the dealership has a DEF bypass harness they install, and the state patrol comes out and puts a sticker on the windshield that authorizes the bus to be on the road without the DEF emission controls. The control modulars are failing, and when they do, the buses default to 5 miles per hour and needs to be towed to the dealer. He said there are a handful of others that are acting up and will soon need to be towed when these modulars fail. The modulars are not available at all. I wonder how many 18-wheelers are out there waiting on a control module that can not get, just like the school buses can't get them for them. This guy also works at maintenance at an injection molding plant. Still on crazy overtime. Not sure who is ordering this stuff, but the lack of labor has probably contributed to production not being as high as it could be, thus making it busier for the rest of us. With so many people hurting, I'm not complaining. He also said that with the repair parts they need to keep the factory running, the lead times are getting worse. If it is not something commonly available, they have a very long wait to get it in. I just picked up my neighbor, who is a nurse at one of the major hospitals in Indiana. She just informed me that the hospitals are bringing in nurses from China, Vietnam, Japan, North Korea, and other places around the globe. These nurses that are bringing into the country are bringing their families, and they're being offered a 2-year stay for a job. And the reason is because of the shortage of the U.S. Once they have completed 2 years, the government is giving the opportunity to become citizens. My thoughts are, who's vetting these people? Are there anyone sneaking through the system? I have no idea how the vetting process is going. She also told me they're short on IV bags, Ativan, and that they're using the Valium instead for their patients. This person also works for a trucking industry, and he actually works for Target. And he's a truck driver. I only worked 3 days last week, 3 days this week. Things are slowing down unusually. I'm supposed to be super busy this time of year because of the holidays, but that is not the case. If things don't pick up soon, I'm going to have to pick up another job just to be able to cover the bills that I currently have. So that is not a good sign. If that trucker's only working 3 days for Target, they should be ramping up for the holiday season and for especially Christmas time. This is very interesting. This comes from a person in the manufacturing industry. This week, coming up, they'll have the world's largest manufacturing trade show coming up. This is the International Manufacturing Trade Show, and it's going to run from September 12th through September 17th in downtown Chicago. This show is held every 2 years, and manufacturers spend lots of money to be able to attend and exhibit. We are going to spend, I guess his company is going to spend north of $1 million to exhibit at the show this year. And I know companies that easily spend twice that amount. Because of the COVID-19, the 2020 show was canceled. So the last international show was in 2018. A rational person would think that the trade show had not been held for 4 years would have a record number of people in attendance. Not so. In 2018, the show had 60,000 registered attendees. And this is just the attendees, not the exhibitors. If you included the exhibitors, the number attending the show would be 100,000 people. For this year, the show only has 28,000 registered attendance. Now, this could have changed from the day he had this number. That's over a 50% reduction. I do not have the exact number for the amount of exhibitors that will be showing up yet, but it's somewhere around 30,000. So, definitely almost half of what it was the last time they had the show. To me, that's worrying. That means manufacturers don't have the confidence of bringing new products out or trying to expand their business. And this show is not a local show. This is a show for the world. So he says it's very alarming and only confirms the intel I have previously sent you back in June that manufacturing is slowing down. This person is going to be at the show, so I'm looking forward to a follow-up intel boots on the ground report telling me and telling you how it went and if the crowd, at the last second grew. This person, Spokane, Washington. I went to a main supplier of welding and cutting glass. I attempted to buy an extra set of bottles for our torch set. I was told there's now a shortage due to lack of workers, so he couldn't even buy them. Could not buy bottles. And if things continue, we might not be able to exchange our bottles, so empty bottles get exchanged for full bottles. Walmart rice has also increased. Poor man preps are now going up. Prep while you can. Simple items are on the rise, 25% at least in my area. This person said, I live in Colorado and recently injured my foot, making it difficult to get around. A good friend whose business was destroyed due to the lockdown offered help if I needed it. My friend works part-time now, so any extra income is a big help as their family is struggling. When I asked what they wanted me to pay per hour, my friend said food was what was needed. I was shocked. My friend left my home with several bags of groceries for their families, enough for a few days. My friend returned again to help me. This time my husband and I took her to Sam's Club and allowed her to get what her family needed. An acquaintance heard about what we had been done and offered to make a payment of my friend's energy bill. Small actions can make a big difference. We are all in this together. And thank you for your kindness. We're going to have to show kindness to people. If you have a little bit and you can share and you see need, please. Because tomorrow you might be the one in need. I went to Home Depot in my area to get winter vegetable plants yesterday. And I was told that the area, and this would be in Annapolis, Maryland, did not have any. They were taken away about a month ago. The employees stated they will not get any more for this season. I asked why, and if it was because of the Great Reset, but the employer said she did not know. Also, if anyone is looking for food-grade buckets to store food, they can get them from their local grocery store for free. My local Safeway holds them for me each week. Yes, free, or sometimes they charge $1, and it's well worth $1 because they wash them out really nice and clean for you. This is from Walmart. I went to Walmart's 3 days in a row, Middle Illinois. The first day, watermelons was $2. I bought one. The next day, the same watermelons were $3.98. On the third day, the melons were $5.68 with a sign that says price rollback was $6.98. All I can say is liar, liar. This person is from New York, near the Pennsylvania-New York border. Where we live, I have access to 6 different Walmarts, and there's all kinds of shortages. Some shortages are pasta, or you could get beans, lentils, jams, jelly, and other things. They're just very short in their area. I've even seen moldy, smelly products there, and that's more in the vegetable side. And that is a recurring theme. The amount of people telling me that the produce is terrible, and I have witnessed it. I buy produce. If you don't eat it within that day or the next day, it's not fit for human consumption. This person is from South Central Pennsylvania. I don't see any shortages here, but inflation is bad. Just wanted to let everyone know they need to learn how to cook food without electricity or gas. Learn to cook with wood and charcoal. I've been making my own charcoal the last several months and it works great. Start practicing cooking outside now just in case power or gas lines go down. Storing food is priority, but you need to be able to cook and also boil large amounts of water. So you need to learn. You practice now. We are just getting over having the power going to the well and power going to Nate's house being out. We just got it fixed a few hours ago, so life is back to normal here. But you need to practice. You need to shut your power off. I've learned a lot. We get a lot of power outages in the wintertime here, so I do have a good understanding of what we need to do. But every time it goes out, I learn something new, and it makes my life more comfortable the next time. So there you go. This is some boots on the ground. I hope you're praying for our country. Keep prepping. Thanks for watching.